Get your daily news fix. From NewsSourceScrawler's latest edition, 20 March 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more.
The Kremlin has announced that Putin has consented to a temporary pause in attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Additionally, Putin is reportedly seeking a cessation of all arms deliveries to Ukraine as part of a potential truce with Trump. In a separate development, Trump proposed to Zelensky that the United States should assume control of Ukrainian power plants to enhance security. In response, Zelensky agreed to stop targeting Russian energy infrastructure during a conversation with Trump. Google has purchased the cybersecurity company Wiz for a total of $32 billion. Meanwhile, Shopify has decided to move its U.S. stock listing from the New York Stock Exchange (NYSE) to the NASDAQ. Additionally, Meta's possible relocation from Delaware has prompted the governor to hold special meetings over the weekend. 2 months prior, the Wall Street Journal reported that Meta was in discussions to rein corporate in Texas or another state, potentially leaving Delaware.
Shakespeare's birthplace is set to undergo decolonization due to concerns about white supremacy. Elon Musk describes Tesla protesters as deranged, suggesting they wish to harm him because of his involvement with the White House. Additionally, a site called DogeQuest alleges it is exposing Tesla owners throughout the United States. Ben & Jerry's has leveled accusations against its parent company, Unilever, claiming that the CEO was removed against their will because of the company's social mission.
Gazprom, once a dominant force in Russia, is now liquidating its upscale properties following a reported $12.9 billion loss. Meanwhile, the UK is aspiring to take a leadership role in climate finance, stepping in as the US retracts from its commitments. Additionally, the chief executive of COP30 has issued a stern warning that nations need to intensify their climate initiatives or face the potential for conflict.
The creator of Andor has decided not to release the episode scripts to the public, citing concerns that they might be utilized to train artificial intelligence software. He expressed his reluctance by saying, "Why help the FING robots?" Meanwhile, academics are criticizing AI startups for allegedly exploiting the peer review process to gain publicity. Just a week ago, Sakana announced that its AI-generated paper successfully passed peer review. Additionally, The Independent is set to introduce a new news service that will be supported by Google AI.
AI is significantly enhancing organized crime activities, according to a warning from the EU police agency. A U.S. appeals court has dismissed copyrights for AI-generated art that does not have a human creator. The Italian newspaper Il Foglio has released the first edition entirely generated by AI. Mars might contain a vast ocean of water underground, according to seismic data. Dust devils on Mars generate lightning like electrical discharges. Scientists have produced strong, flexible nylon, using engineered bacteria for the first time. Pursuing happiness can negatively affect limited resources and self-regulation. OpenAI warns that China might force DeepSeek to engage in harmful activities and advocates for a ban. Mark Zuckerberg announces that Meta's Llama models have achieved 1 billion downloads. NVIDIA introduces Isaac GR00TN1, the first open humanoid robot foundation model, along with simulation frameworks to accelerate robot development, enhancing generalized skills and reasoning in humanoid robots. NVIDIA, Google DeepMind, and Disney Research collaborate to create a next-generation open-source Newton physics engine.
LEGO Pokémon will be available, with the initial sets expected in 2026. A procession of 897 dachshunds in Germany has set a new Guinness World Record. Marina Abramovic is planning to launch a 950-piece NFT collection. Trump's letter to Iran set a 2-month deadline for a new nuclear agreement. A week ago, a UAE official handed over a letter from Trump to Iran, encouraging nuclear discussions. Reuters indicates that the U.S. is pausing certain activities to combat Russian sabotage as Trump's relationship with Putin becomes more apparent. The Pentagon plans to reduce up to 60,000 civilian positions through buyouts and natural attrition.
NVIDIA's CEO, Huang, emphasizes that developing faster chips is the most effective method to lower AI expenses. He noted that AI currently requires 100 times more computation compared to the time of ChatGPT's release, which was just 1 month ago. Additionally, NVIDIA, along with Musk's xAI, is set to collaborate with Microsoft, BlackRock, and MGX to advance AI infrastructure. Furthermore, NVIDIA plans to invest hundreds of billions in the U.S. supply chain, according to its chief.
Trump is set to announce that illicit fentanyl will be classified as a weapon of mass destruction, according to a draft executive order. Meanwhile, Bloomberg has commented that the shutdown of Trump's app is actually beneficial to Mexico's cartels. Additionally, Chinese state media has praised Trump's reductions in funding for the Voice of America, with budget cuts to both the Voice of America and Radio Free Asia being met with approval from Chinese state media, who describe the cuts as discarding them like a dirty rag. Dance criticizes globalization for obstructing American innovation. The European Union accuses Apple and Google of unfair practices, potentially provoking Trump. Google's Search and Play Store violate the Digital Markets Act rules, according to the EU, which also outlines how Apple must allow competitors access to its technology under the bloc's digital regulations. Europe aims to improve the compatibility of non-Apple smartwatches with iPhones. Speculation suggests that the EU's new charges against Google could result in fines of at least $35 billion. Apple argues that the EU's interoperability requirements provide unrestricted access to the iPhone, jeopardizing customer security and privacy.
Bangladesh apprehends the head of a Rohingya insurgent group on criminal allegations. Turkish law enforcement detains the mayor of Istanbul, a significant adversary of President Erdogan, amid intensifying government measures. An authoritarian crackdown results in 42,000 Kuwaitis being deprived of their nationality.
Russian state asserts ownership of $28.7 billion in assets, according to the prosecutor. In the UK, the Department for Work and Pensions has confirmed changes to major PIP, personal independence payments, and universal credit benefits. Kendall has announced a crackdown on benefits, aiming to save £5 billion annually by 2030. Experts warn that up to 1.2 million disabled individuals could lose thousands due to the UK welfare overhaul. Chuck Schumer attributes the increase in left-wing anti-Semitism to the 2008 crisis and the wokeism of the radical fringe in his new book. London's iconic black cabs face the threat of disappearing within 2 decades, according to a warning from Transport for London. Meanwhile, the BMW art car collection marks its 50th anniversary with a worldwide tour. Additionally, Tesla takedown protesters are gearing up for what they claim will be the largest day of action.
The European Union has decided to exclude the United States from its massive defense strategy. 2 weeks prior, the EU leader introduced an €800 billion initiative aimed at strengthening Europe's military capabilities, while France announced plans to reopen its fourth nuclear airbase as part of this rapid rearmament effort. Meanwhile, feeling threatened by President Trump, Canada is preparing to integrate into the EU's military industry expansion. Mark Carney has stated that Canada will invest $6 billion in a missile detection system to address threats posed by Russia and China. Additionally, the Trump administration is contemplating relinquishing the NATO command, a position that has been held solely by the United States since the time of President Eisenhower. Numerous individuals deported by Trump's administration as alleged gang members reportedly lacked criminal records in the United States, according to ICE. The Department of Justice claims that Trump theoretically possesses the authority to remove all female heads of agencies or those over the age of 40. In the United States, scientists report that NIH officials instructed them to eliminate mRNA references from their grant applications.
Netanyahu criticizes the leftist deep state following Qatargate arrests, claiming it uses the justice system against strong right-wing leaders in Israel and the U.S. In Qatargate, an Israeli businessman alleges he gave money from a Qatar lobbyist to Netanyahu's spokesperson. The UK retracts its statement that Israel's Gaza aid blockade is illegal, and the UK's Royal Television Society reverses its decision, now planning to award journalists in Gaza after industry pressure. In the U.S., the Justice Department and FBI establish a new task force to focus on Hamas following the October 7th attack.
Wall Street Journal indicates that Kraken, a cryptocurrency exchange, is close to a $1.5 billion agreement for its futures trading division. XRP experiences a 10% surge following Garlinghouse's statement that the SEC is abandoning its case against Ripple. Backed shares experience a significant decline after losing agreements with B of A and Webull.
Clearview AI, a facial recognition company, reportedly tried to purchase social security numbers and mugshots to expand its database. The company allegedly collected 30 billion images from platforms like Facebook and shared them with law enforcement, effectively placing everyone in a perpetual police lineup. Meanwhile, Meta has pledged to reduce false content and deepfakes in anticipation of the Australia election. Additionally, the Wall Street Journal noted that the conflict-ridden Congo has proposed a deal for Trump: eliminate rebels and receive minerals. This follows a report from 1 month ago stating that Congo offered minerals to the US and Europe in exchange for peace.
Budgerigar brains possess a vocal sound map similar to that of humans. A new study suggests that substituting butter with certain plant oils could substantially reduce the risk of death. New research raises concerns about a potential link between tattoo ink and an increased risk of cancer. Limp Bizkit's $200 million lawsuit proceeds as judge rejects Universal Music Group's dismissal motion. 4 months prior, Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit initiated a $200 million lawsuit against Universal Music, alleging unpaid royalties. Universal Music argued that the lawsuit is based on a fallacy and sought its dismissal. Norway Wealth Fund acquires a £570 million stake in Covent Garden. The Big Bang Theory spin-off receives a title focusing on Stewart.
Donald Trump suggests that Canada should have been the 51st state, calling it nasty. The Bulwark remarks that Trump's desire for Canada is similar to Putin's longing for Ukraine. Additionally, Germany revises U.S. travel guidance following the detention of its citizens. Meanwhile, a French scientist is barred from entering the U.S. due to phone messages that were critical of Trump.
Video Game Workers Unite with Communications Workers of America. Novak Djokovic's Players Union initiates legal proceedings against tennis authorities. Vanity Fair notes Christianity's shift from being borderline illegal to the new religion in Silicon Valley.
Telegram's creator, Pavel Durov, announces that the app has reached 1 billion users and criticizes WhatsApp as a cheap, watered-down imitation. Google permits children to use Google Wallet for in-store purchases in certain nations. Huawei introduces a $1,000 foldable device that will operate on its self-created Harmony OS 5, as it promotes an alternative to Apple and Google.
Counterpoint indicates a 12% annual decrease in the global VR market in 2024, with AR plus AI smart glasses expected to dominate in 2025. Bloomberg suggests that Oracle is considering a security backstop and a minor stake to secure a TikTok deal. SoftBank plans to acquire Ampere, a Silicon Valley chip startup, for $6.5 billion.
Microsoft partners with a Swiss startup to create AI that mimics the human brain. Colorado, in the U.S., is now authorized to grant licenses to facilitators of psychedelic mushroom therapy. A review indicates that merely 10% of non-surgical treatments for back issues effectively alleviate pain.
Europe is seeking to attract researchers from the United States due to funding reductions under Trump's administration. Additionally, the Trump administration has temporarily halted $175 million in federal funding to the University of Pennsylvania because of its policy allowing transgender athletes to participate in women's sports. Meanwhile, Hungary's parliament has enacted a law prohibiting LGBTQ+ pride events. Cyberscoop indicates that infostealers were responsible for cyber attacks and collected 2.1 billion credentials in 2024. The UK Cyber Agency proposes a 2035 deadline for transitioning to quantum-safe encryption, cautioning against potential threats. China's Baidu refutes allegations of a data breach following the unauthorized disclosure of personal information by an executive's daughter.
Poland and the Baltic countries are considering exiting the landmine treaty. Meanwhile, Italy and Spain are not yet prepared to back the allocation of €40 billion in military assistance to Ukraine. Additionally, Denmark's Prime Minister has cautioned EU leaders that J.D. Vance made a valid point regarding migration.
OpenAI has launched the O1 Pro API, which is its priciest product to date, designed specifically for developers. Meanwhile, Stability AI is in the process of developing the Stable Virtual Camera, a model that is still in the research preview stage. This innovative multi-view diffusion model has the capability to convert two-dimensional images into captivating three-dimensional videos, complete with realistic depth and perspective. Additionally, Tencent is presenting open-source AI models that have the potential to transform written text into three-dimensional visuals.
Number 1 hit and additional songs. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs from March 7 to March 13, 2025. Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. Like Jenny by Jenny. El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres.
Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, from Friday, March 7th to Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, APT, by Rose and Bruno Mars, Luther, with SZA, by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish.
Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting March 18, 2025. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Overcooked. 2. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition, Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Steam's most popular games. Highlighting the globally top-selling and most played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, March 4, 2025, to Tuesday, March 11, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, Split Fiction, REPO.
CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA, along with its partners, has issued a cybersecurity advisory concerning the Medusa ransomware.
One more drop in the ocean of AI. Sesame's CSM-1B is a speech generation model that creates RVQ audio codes from both text and audio inputs. Its architecture includes a llama backbone and a more compact audio decoder, which outputs mini audio codes.